Welcome back to my channel, everyone. We're going to work on the Tropical State of Mind plus size folio, Gatefold Folio. So all of the pieces that you will need to create this will be listed in the description box below. And if you are a member of my group on Facebook, there is a written tutorial, but it's the smaller version. But the pieces are going to be put together exactly the same and labeled exactly the same in hopes to minimize the confusion. So what we're doing right now is I am putting together 2 pieces of Tyvek because that is what I prefer to use as Tyvek. You can use cardstock, but make sure that your cardstock, oh dear, I moved it. Make sure your cardstock is 2 inches longer and higher, like this, like 2 inches. All your pieces laid out this way, you need it to be 1 inch on either side, and then you need it to be 1 inch higher or on the bottom and on the top. Okay, so you need it to be 1 inch bigger all the way around. So if you're using paper like cardstock, you want to use as lightweight as you possibly can, and be careful when you wrap so that it doesn't crack. That is why I prefer to use Tyvek, because it is kind of very forgiving. So that is why, and you can get these envelopes. I'm in Canada. I'm not sure about the states where you can get them, but in Canada I order mine on either Amazon. I found some black ones, you're gonna pay for them, or I found white ones at Staples, and I think that's these, but you can get away with hiding this because you're folding it over. Okay, so now that you have this, you're gonna find out what your better side is to start with, because you're going to cut off a little. So I'm gonna start on this side. Okay, so you're gonna take your chipboard pieces. I've got mine all prepped and ready to go here. So you're gonna take one of the smaller of the 2 is gonna be your first one. But first, what I forgot to tell you is you want to mark 1 inch. Now, try and get everything all flipped around. This video might take a little while, but I'm going to suffer through long videos. Hopefully they don't take a month of Sundays to load. So you're gonna make a mark at 1 inch along the side and along the bottom. Now it doesn't have to be like the whole way across, because we are going to be kind of keeping everything straight, hopefully. Maybe I need to do it like that. I apologize for the silence. Sometimes I forget that I'm recording a video. So my apologies. Okay, so we'll just go like this. Okay, so there. So now we're gonna start placing our pieces. So like I said, you're gonna take the first of the smaller. See, you've got 2 sizes. Okay, this one's smaller. This one's gonna go on the inside because it's gonna be your cover. This one folds in. Okay, so I always dry fit. It is just something I have always done. I've always dry fit. Okay, so then you can peel your tape backing. However, I actually have some fingernails this time, so I might not struggle too terribly much. Half the time when I'm making something, I break all of my fingernails and I can't peel any of the backing. This time, not so bad. And I hope I am in frame. I really do. I can't tell. Okay, so because you have taken your tape backing off, you're going to want to be careful and get that kind of in place right away. Okay, so there we go. Okay. And then you can flip it over and just do, did I forget that piece? I don't think so. It'll be covered if I did, so that's okay. Okay, now between each piece, when you use chipboard and Tyvek, you can have a thinner spacer. If you're using cardstock, you want to have a thicker space. So I suggest if you're using cardstock that you use 1/4 of an inch. I am using 1/8 of an inch, okay? So that's kind of your spacer tape. So then you're going to take your skinny, like your skinny piece, your skinny spine, okay, and you can take a ruler. That's why I like these sewing rulers. And you can line that up just like so. So you're going to then peel the tape, like I said. You'll find I always dry fit. I'm not as good as some of these crafters who can just peel their tape and know exactly where everything goes. I can't do that. Okay, so just like that. Start it, and then you can just guide it along the edge of that, just like so. Okay. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing. You need another spacer between every piece. You're putting a space. Okay. I like clean ones there. Okay, so now you're going to take one of your thicker, and you're going to do the same thing. Just make sure that you're lined up properly. And I don't know if my cutter is all messed up, but some of my pieces are slightly off. Okay, so then you're going to take your ruler, just as much as you need, unravel that a little bit more, peel your tape backing. You guys will do it probably with ease, unlike me. Okay. Okay, so then you're going to get your ruler all lined up there. Okay. Take your piece and try and get it as lined up as you can beside that spacer, and then just tuck it in there, just like so. Okay. So you see how that's going to come together? And now I'm going to flip it over and just do my burnishing here. Make sure I can. Okay. So now you're going to take your thicker spine piece, and it's going to go on. So spacer. Spacer. Okay. And then you still need your ruler. You're going to need your ruler all the way across. Okay. And the other thing is, when you're doing cardstock wrap, hopefully you guys just watch this video before you actually construct. If you're going to use cardstock, see your seam here, you want to make sure that your seam is not here. you want it somewhere here or in the center here. So if you want to put your centerpiece on first and make sure that, but I had made sure that mine was okay. It was close enough and out of the way. Okay, so you're going to peel. I'm going to peel this piece first. Peel your tape backing. Okay, line that up with your ruler. And then just, yeah, I think I'm a little going crooked here, but that's okay. With Tyvek, it is easily corrected. Okay, so another piece of spacer, and then you're going to take your other large piece of chipboard, your larger of the two, and it's going to go beside your spine here. So just make sure you have the larger of the two. Okay, again, dry fit. And the spacer tape is, I am going crooked, but as long as you have enough up here to wrap, you're okay. Okay, obviously I used the wrong, like I said, my cutter, I don't know. Okay, we're okay here. So we're almost done, so that's okay. So you peel your tape backings. And then just get everything in the right place before you put it down. So get your ruler out. Make sure you have enough to structurally hold it. Right there. Whoopsie. There. I'm going to flip it over, give it a burnish again. Find my tool. And I like to, as you all probably well know already, that I like to use black, and I'm using white. You're probably shocked, but I'm going to color it. Show you again how we color white. So if you get white Tyvek envelopes, as long as you use alcohol inks, you can color it whatever color you want. Okay, so get another piece of spacer tape in there. Oopsie. Like so. Okay. Do your dry fits. Perfect. Cool. Peel and stick. So I apologize for those of you who have made the first Tropical State of Mind. I didn't realize, I think I have so many measurements that are all messed up. That was kind of before I started doing the cutting guide and a YouTube tutorial. And so that's kind of why I'm doing this. It is going to be a little bit different size, but the pieces are all going to be the same. So if I say D goes here, it's going to go in the same place on both, because there is a cutting guide and written instructions for the original Tropical State of Mind, but I don't know, I might, you guys can let me know, I might just remove them completely and go with this size here. I don't know how badly, but I think I've butchered it terribly. Okay, so just get your measurements. We're good. Peel. get your ruler so that you can get it all straight. Because I've done well. But I think my first line was crooked, so we just went from there. Okay. So there, it is all together. Now, if you want, you can take your ruler and a cutting surface and just get rid of the excess. I keep the excess and I use it for patching. Like I'll patch, like if you put a brad or something on a project and it's like inside, I'll use this to patch. Okay, so you just take that off. Set that aside and your project cover is just about done. I'm going to do, I completely forgot to cut the pieces, so we'll see how long this video goes. And it may get missed or, let's see. It may get missed or we'll do it quick when we do the construction of, there's so much album here. Do the construction of putting everything together. Because I think this is just going to be one video. And the construction, all of the inside is going to be another. So that one will be a long video. So right now we're just working on the cover. And I could have used my my 1-inch tape, but I'm using a thinner tape so that I can put 2 strips instead of just one. Because I find that it sticks really good if you can have tape right up against your chipboard, and then you need some over here, so I'm going to put another strip of narrower along the other edge depending on how much I have here. Oh, I see that piece got a little, ooh, that one was a little crooked. Folks, my apologies. Obviously my ruler wasn't doing its job because that, or I cut it slightly, so you have to also be careful when you're cutting that you cut in exactly the same position, like when you're cutting multiple pieces that are going to go side by side, because that tiny little bit will send everything out of whack. It can be a pain in the derriere. Okay, so there's the one. Now I'm gonna get, I'm not sure which one will fit. I think it's 1/4 inch. So as you can see, I have every width of score tape. I like the score tape. It's a little stronger than, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I love my Stampin' Up! Products, but some of them just don't compare. And so I do, unfortunately, shop at other places. Sorry, here I am out of camera again, mumbling. Okay, so now I'm just going right along the edge of the Tyvek so that when we fold it, it will have edge-to-edge tape coverage. So just like so. We're going to miter our corners anyway, so I mean you don't have to put tape all the way from edge to edge, but I'm gonna just so that I can be safe. And if you do have the thicker tape, you can go right ahead and use just one strip of whatever 1 inch or whatever tape that you have all the way. So I'm just gonna quickly, I don't know what else I can say that you guys probably don't know. I hope you like what you have seen on my YouTube channel. And if you have, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell so that you're notified whenever I do upload another project. I have another project on the go and I'm super excited to get to it. I have 10 days off coming up here soon and I cannot wait to get at that project because I think you guys are going to like it. It's going to be an album, not a folio. I did call this an album, but that was before I kind of knew what I was doing. And this, in my opinion, is still a folio because it doesn't have any pages. Albums usually have like pages that you can flip. This doesn't. It just has sections. So I did call it an album, but for this one I am calling it a folio, but it's the plus. Okay, so here we go. If you think about it, just burnish all of your tape. Make sure you got a good stick 'em down there. So we're going to now take, I have a mitering tool. If you don't have a mitering tool, you just want to stay about 1/8 of an inch. You can see there's about 1/8 of an inch there. You just want to stay about that far away from your piece, from your corner, and you just kind of, as you can see, cut it on an angle, just like so. So I'm just going to cut these two and then flip it over and burnish the tape on the other side. Okay, so just like that. Oops. So, get those out of the way. Now I'm going to burnish the tape over here. Make sure it's got a good stick to that Tyvek, and then it's not gonna, okay, and then do the same thing. And another thing too, when you're doing these centerpieces, lots of people will put 2 of whatever pieces they have here together as a spacer. Sometimes it's nice to have a little extra room to breathe, I say. So I use 1/8 inch tape with Tyvek and 1/4 inch tape with paper. And I actually don't do very much with paper because I love Tyvek. It is so much fun. Whoopsie. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so now we are going to wrap. Let's try and clean up our area. I don't have much space, so my area gets to be messy fast. Okay. So here we go. So what I like to do first is I like to do the top part. So I'm going to actually, so that I have the space, I'm going to move my tools so that I can lay it out flat. So I know I'm not in camera, but what you will see will be in camera, I promise. Okay, so we're going to start with the long edges, okay? And as you could tell, I was leaving a space here because I always forget to peel my spacer tapes. And I always, like just about always mess something up. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to peel them all back just a little bit. You can always put it back after. Okay, peel that back a little bit. Okay. There. Okay, now you can peel your 2 strips of adhesive off of whichever side you're going to do. Top or bottom. I like to work on the top and you'll see why. Okay, And now I'm going to apologize if I get my big fat head in the way. Okay, so I'm going to lift up and I'm going to just kind of burnish all the way along the top and get that tape to stick to the edge of my chipboard. Okay, just like that. And make sure you push down on your chipboard so that it doesn't lift. Okay, so then keep it flat. Okay, you're gonna start and you're gonna fold it over, but just a little. You don't want it stuck down all the way until you make sure that you don't have any bubbles and everything is in the right spot. So I just kind of, if you have fingernails, I stick my fingernails and I just give it a little push. Okay, so see right there, this is the one that was a little longer. So it's gonna be a pain in our butt. Okay, so then you can just slowly push down. You don't need to yank on anything because it is in the right spot, and then you can just burnish. Okay, so just kind of fold everything over. Just push it into a spot and give it a burnish, okay? And that burnishing, like you're not gonna see any of that anyway, will push out all of your bubbles, all of your, you know, wrong oopsie daisies, you know, anything like that. Okay, so then flip it over and do the exact same thing to the other side, other long side. Okay, so you're going to peel all of your backing. Get that all out of the way. And if you don't have a burnishing tool to do this, you can use your fingers. You just have to be careful to get your fingers under there and not to get it too high. Okay, so just like that. I mean, push down. Like, as you can see, I'm pushing down with my other hand to make sure that it's right tight against the table. And then just kind of go along it again and make sure you got a good stick to your chipboard. And then same thing, start from the center and just kind of give it a little push over and get some of that other tape to stick. Like that. And then push down the rest of the way. And you're gonna have most of this in here hidden anyway, so any of those bubbles, they'll be there. See, they're gone. Just like that. And see, I told you, I forget to lift. That's why, so that when I peel this, I can always forget. My mind is mush. So when I peel that, it's not stuck all the way under there. Okay, so now we're going to do our edge pieces, and this is where you have the fun begins. So you're going to peel that tape right away, and then you're going to take your bone folder and you're just going to curl those in. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just curl them in. It'll be hidden, and then it's the same thing. Okay? Take your tool or your fingers and just push that over, and then there you go, just like that. And you have nice corners on your project. Okay, same thing for the other side. Peel your tape backing. And that is also why I like to have the tape backing right up against the chipboard, so that when you do this, there is something that sticks. It sticks to something. Because if you don't and it doesn't stick or stay there, oh, you're gonna get a visitor here coming. Say hi to Cookie. She likes to come and visit every now and again. I'm sure some of you have met her. Okay, push it over with your finger. Just like so. give it a burnish. And it is stuck. Okay, so now the pieces that I did not cut are the pieces that are going to go on top of here. But first of all, we will color our Tyvek so that you can see. It's been a while since I've colored Tyvek because I bought the black envelopes. So I use the sponge and the alcohol ink. Cookie, would you bugger off? And scrap paper as soon as I can find it. Here we go. I don't need all of it. So here we go. So I'm going to do the front first, and you don't have to do the whole thing. So this is what I like to do. Cookie, are you going to aggravate me? Is I like to just squish it on here in a couple of spots like so, and then just sponge. I don't know if it takes less, right? So you just sponge that, and I'm not sure that I like this sponge. I think that's why part of the reasons I stopped doing it. Okay, so again, just over. And it doesn't have to be, as long as it's black. If you have, I like the little bit of color variation that you get sometimes. Right? Like you get that little bit of, it is black all the way, but there's a little bit of, yeah. Cookie is going to be the death of me in here. Okay, like that. Go, or I'm going to be the death of myself in here. Make sure you get it over a little bit, because when you put your cover pieces on, you want to have it at least covered. Okay, so there. So then you just keep going. I don't know if you need me to do the whole thing or not. Let's see how much, if I could put more on here, if it'll go farther. Find my spines. Oh, more, whoop, that was close. More does go a little farther. Okay, so like so. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. Give it a good squirt. Cookie, you're in my way. Find your spine. Oopsie, and it's a Cookie, go away. I don't have enough scrap here. So this is all I do when you guys can stop watching me, but seeing as I'm here, because we're gonna flip it over, and we got to do the same to the other side. You got to get the edges. You got to get everything. And hopefully I don't run out of ink by the time I get there. Okay, so just like so. I guess that works too. Okay. Move on. Yeah. It's not the best. I think I'd like this is a sponge, and I don't like the sponge. I like the foam. Come back over here, give that another hit. Okay, so then you're gonna flip it up, and this might be easier. You're just, to give it a little color, you're just gonna get that edge. See, just get that edge. Going a lot farther here now. Okay. Just get that edge colored so that it's not white. It doesn't have to be like 100%. Just as long as it's not white. I don't think I need some more ink now. Pulling that apart too. Okay. So I'll do that other edge after. So we'll put some more ink on here. And now, okay, we have our, this edge, as long as you can get that colored, like so. Just enough that when you put your cardstock on there, that there is something to cover so that it's not white. Okay, so just keep going as far as you can go. I'll fold that over and give that coating. Oh, maybe I did do that one. Okay. There. You make a mess. You can definitely make a mess making your projects. I hope you guys all get a chuckle at me too. I know I do. Huh. Okay, get that covered in there. I think this is the edge. Looks like I got most of the edges are all covered. Perfect. So that will be a wrap for today. So what you're gonna do, this will be your homework. You want to cover this whole thing in black paper. So you're gonna find the edge that you want to have your paper come to. So you want to stay about 1/8 of an inch away, and you want to come as far as you can, keeping your seams in these areas, you know, for your paper. So, you know, start and cover this spine and then work out, or, you know, so make sure that you get it covered, and so that your interlocking seams or whatever are in a bigger section and not these little areas, because it'll make your paper, it'll just make it very bulky. So that is going to be a wrap for this piece. And so when we come back, this will all have black paper on it, and we will start to construct all the flaps. Okay, so see you in the next video. Have a great day.